Welcome, everybody. This is G. How is everybody out there doing? It is the 21st of August, and we are going to focus our attention up here to the words written in black. This is the September full moon. It happens right at the beginning of September, so I thought this would be a great time to do it. I had to actually wait for Mercury to clear. Astrology, man, it's a real thing. And when Mercury, which is your thinking and your talking and your speaking and your communication, is doing all sorts of funny things and squaring your own natal Mercury, it's a problem. And then squaring your sun, it's a problem, right? Your ability to relate, to communicate, to talk coherently, to make sense. Oh man, it gets all jacked up. So the important thing is we're all here listening, we're all here engaging, we're all here for each other. And I am grateful to have the opportunity to be able to share that which flows through me. And I'm truly honored that anybody presses that button and sits and spends a little bit of time listening to what I have to say, presses the like button, presses the subscribe button, and says, you know what? This channel is offering me something of value. And I am all about value. I try to deliver you the highest quality of content that I am capable of. And if there is any recommendations, any things you think I should be doing or tweaking or changing, I'm always open for improvement. So I'm always open for information from the community to come through and talk to me and say, hey, I have these ideas, I have this thought, whatever it may be, whatever your thoughts or comments or responses are, please meet me in the comment section. Go down below and say, hey, gee, hello. I just want you to know I'm here. I'm listening. It's all great. It's all good. As they say, it's all gravy. September full moon. We're going to take a peek at this. Now, this is about understanding the frequencies and the energetic cycles and understanding how to work through them. It's the energetic weather and knowing if it's going to rain or if it's going to lightning and thunder, you're not going to make a plan to go out and play baseball. It's that simple. That's the most simplest way to explain it. If you know there's going to be a tsunami coming, you're not going to be getting into the boat and going out onto the ocean. You're going to be like, today's probably not a good day for that. You might want to stay on land and actually head inward. So this is the same thing. Energetic weather, understanding when there's a tsunami coming and whatnot, or difficult challenges coming, and then what roads to take. What are the other avenues that we can take our energy where we can maybe veer off to the side and stay out of the direct line of force that's coming. Okay, the energies are it's an evolutionary study, folks, of energy. And that is who we are as human beings. And as a human being, you are the microverse, literally. You hold within you what we think and what we seem to understand is to be the universe, right? What's out there. We change and evolve and grow. We're an expression, a direct expression of the changing and the evolving and the growth that is out there happening in the cosmos. So September 2nd, 2020, that's the date, right? Name, September full moon. And understand that the basic energy of a full moon, this is all about like a closure. Because what happens is we have the moon at the opposite end of the sun. And anytime they're at the opposite ends, whatever the luminaries are at the opposite ends, but anytime, whether it's a luminary or a planet, whatever it is, we call that an opposition. That makes sense, right? The word opposite is in there. So it's the moon at 10 degrees. Big number is the degrees. And then at 12 minutes. So 10 degrees, 12 minutes is the moon in the sign of Pisces. Yes, it's all about symbology here. You do have to hunker down and learn the symbols. It's much easier to draw a symbol than to write out a word. And then when you know the meaning of the symbol, wow, you've got a whole lot of knowledge there because you didn't have to write a paragraph explaining what that symbol meant. This is knowledge coming from the ancients. These were the smart ones, right? We think we're so smart with all of our technology, and it's like, oh my God. They learned how to observe. They were able to sit and to observe and be receptive to the frequencies that were incoming and to the galactic knowledge that was flowing through to them directly. 10 degrees, 12 minutes, the moon. Remember, the moon is emotions. The moon is all about water, and it's going to be in Piscean energy, which is water. So right there, that in itself tells us other than having elevated emotions because it's a full moon and being in the sign of water, right? So pretty emotional full moon. Now it is a full moon because the sun is at the opposite end of it. The sun and the moon oppose each other. And that means they're in exact opposition. And that's how we get the full moon. The sun is exactly at 10 degrees and 12 minutes in the sign of Virgo. Virgo is that green M, right? It's got like the letter M, and then it's got like this head. Don't ask me. I didn't create this symbology. It was long before I became along. And so that's the sign of Virgo, right? And the sun and the moon opposing each other. Virgo is about the information and the details. That's what Virgo is. Virgo's ruler is the sign Mercury, or I'm sorry, the planet Mercury. And look, Mercury is in Virgo. So this is powerful because Mercury is very much operating at a really great level here. Mercury rules Virgo energy. And so information coming through. Remember, Virgo's the details. It can analyze. If it's expressing in a not so great way, it can criticize. But Virgos are the know-how to connect the dots to get something done. It's all about projects. It's all about health as well, but it is work routines, work projects. It's all about our alternative modalities connected to health. They have the ability to think outside the box. Okay, a higher octave of mercurial energy is Uranian energy. And typically when somebody has Mercury and Uranus hooked up, this is the sign of a genius. So that means that Mercury would have been around here at 10 degrees, which means that would have been at the end of August, we had Mercury and Uranus energies hooking up. Now, how could I say that fast, right? Because this is September 2nd, and the planet Mercury would have been coming into the Virgo energies mid-August. Okay, so actually right now I'm doing August 21st. I think it's August 22nd I have written down somewhere here that Mercury actually enters this sign. And Mercury moves pretty fast. It moves like 2 degrees, like in a day, 24 hours. And so it'll get, once we get to the butt end of August, the last 7 days of August, you're talking Mercury at 10 degrees, actually already then trining Uranian energy in Taurus. And so what that means is we get information, we get downloads of information because Uranus is galactic downloads, right? It's the universe, and this is that Tesla energy, the inventor, right? This is Frankenstein. Oh my gosh, I can use electricity to bring someone back to life. Holy moly, how can that be possible? But that's what the Uranian energy represents. It's the scientist, right? It's the inventor. Unique inventive qualities coming through, thinking outside the box, thinking beyond the capacity of the human mind, because it is like the mind of God coming through. Mercury is how you think. So if Mercury and Uranus were talking at the end of August, we were getting information. More information about what we value because it was in the sign of Taurus. And so we value money. It's also food. It's also our relationships. It's also our love, my love for myself, who I love, what I love in my life. It's Uranus. It's Tyrannus. Okay. And so we're changing the way we value things. We are changing who we value. We are changing what we value in our life. This is Uranus and Taurus. This is our money, folks. We are changing the way we handle money. We are changing the way we make money because it's not just money, but it's our incoming. It's what's coming into us. It's all about your ability to receive love, your ability to receive money. Being open to that changing is the lesson of Uranus. Uranus is the awakener. It's the unexpected. Uranus comes along and says you cannot use the cookie cutter any longer. You need to create shapes that don't involve a cookie cutter. You need to be creative. Come up with something unique and ingenious. That's what Uranus says. So it's ingenious ways of making money, right? People are like, whoa, I never thought of this. I can do this. I didn't know I could do this. This is what this is. New ways, which then brings new values to ourselves because we think to ourselves, oh my God, I didn't know I could do that. And when you discover something about yourself, you all of a sudden have this new sense of self-worth. That comes through and talks to Mercury. Now, yes, there are lots of other things that I can talk about in that energy, but we only have so much time here, folks, and only retention span only goes so long, right? So Mercury and Uranus are talking, and yes, Mercury is here in the placement of Virgo, which means our work. So new ideas about work, and it's connected to money, it's connected to income. So pay attention this butt end of August, right? Pay attention to information that comes through. And the best way to pay attention is to be in a meditative place. Uranian energy is that lightning bolt idea. idea, right? It's like, who was that? Sir Isaac Newton, like the apple fell on top of his head, right? Type of thing, where something just popped out of the air and hit you in the head. And you were like, oh, damn, that's a good idea. Like, that is kind of what that's going to be like. My ephemeris right here, and I want to give the exact date because makes it more powerful, but I will give you 2 days in advance, because normally if you're highly receptive, you'll get the information sooner. 23rd, 24th. Yeah, hopefully I'll get this to you guys before then, of August. So like 23rd, 24th, be super receptive, okay? Be super receptive to ideas. All right, be super open to alternative ways, because Virgo is alternative work, especially in terms of health care, right? Alternative modalities of work. And Uranus, well, my gosh, Uranus is the word alternative. Uranus is very unique, very individualistic. The whole goal right now, folks, is learning how to operate as a unique individual within the group, how to be a part of the group and have the vision with the group without sacrificing your individual unique self. This is going to be, it's really hard to do. I know, I get it. But that's what the universe is asking of us. How to retain our individual spirit and goals without compromising the group goals, right? It's the whole mentality of harmlessness. If it harm none, let it be done, right? It's that whole belief of there's got to be a way that we can learn to get along. There has got to be a way. How many minds are there? Think about this. How many human beings are there? You mean to tell me we cannot gather our thought and become a concentrated unit and move forward with the highest and the best for all involved? Of course we can. Of course we can, right? The difference is those who believe that they're above the group. And so that's kind of, yeah. Anyway, that's the message for right now. That's the big meaning of the time. That is the big lesson for 2020. How to be flexible, how to be changeable, how to be adaptable, and at the same time retain your individuality and not sacrifice what is best for all involved. Mercury and the sun being in the sign of Virgo, they become, when they're together, Mercury, the thinking, the sun actually overpowers Mercury's thinking. And that already happened, luckily. Mercury then takes off and moves really fast in Virgo because it belongs there. Like Mercury moves, like I said, 2 degrees in a day. And so and the sun only moves 1 degree a day. So when Mercury can pull away from the sun, it becomes a clearer thinker. It really does. And so seriously, around the 23rd to 24th will be interesting, because at that time, Mercury will already be like at 6, 7, 8 degrees over here in Virgo, and the sun will just be entering, right? So what happens is when the sun enters a new sign, it's a new beginning of something. Anytime something makes that transition from one sign to another, or on top of another sign, it all of a sudden becomes this, wow, I wasn't thinking about that. And all of a sudden, like, my health and well-being is a big deal. I'm really thinking about this. And you'll notice that. You'll see your thinking will likely speed up. You see, I mentioned it before in the August videos about thinking. Maybe it's harder to go to sleep at night because the mind is working more, because the sun starts to take on these Virgo qualities. And Virgo is definitely a thinker and details, right? So don't let yourself get drowned in the details, which is very easy to do when you've got the sun and Mercury, or when you have the sun in Virgo and Mercury in Virgo. And so the little guy with the antenna, that's Mercury, right? And then this circle with the circle in the middle, that's the sun. So to kind of go backwards a little bit, I jumped ahead. And this is one of the things that I do. It's one of my downfalls, actually. I have a tendency, I just immediately start talking about the future. It's just what I do. It's just always in my head. So the inner circle here, right? You essentially see this circle that's got all these lines. Then you see the second circle that's got all these symbols in solid black. Those are the planets up in the sky, okay? The planets up in the sky for the date of September 2nd. You see that? And then the signs out here, these are the zodiac signs, okay? These are the zodiac signs. And so the beginning of the zodiac is Aries, and then Taurus, the second. So in astrology, that represents the first house. This represents the second house. This represents the third house. This is Gemini, and so on. This is Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. So with these signs, you associate a number to them. So for those who are into numerology, numerology is definitely part of astrology. This is number 1, number 2, number 3. And so when I say those numbers, those are also representing the house numbers of your life, right? So number 3, Gemini is number 3. Number 4 is Cancer. Number 5 is Leo. Number 6 is Virgo. Number 7 is Libra. Number 8 is Scorpio. Number 9 is Sagittarius. 10 is Capricorn. 11 is Aquarius. And 12 is Pisces. Those are some of the basics of this chart and basics of astrology before we get any further into the new moon that might, or I'm sorry, this full moon that might help. So now that we have that, we realize that these planets are the current planets up in the sky. So what we have all been battling is all this stuff. This is the planet Saturn, the letter H with the cross. Saturn is the teacher. Okay, Saturn is the boss. Saturn is Simon Says. Saturn represents the energy of things that we have built up over long periods of time, and it's in the sign of Capricorn. It actually rules the sign of Capricorn. This is our 3D tangible world. This is our material security. We also have Pluto here. Pluto is power. Pluto is transformation. Wherever Pluto goes, it is changing that, changing it. Now, recognize that Pluto, Capricorn energy represents business, big business, represents government. And Pluto has been in this sign for 10 years, 10, 11 years, and in 4 years it will enter this sign. So Pluto is transforming the brick and mortar businesses, banking as well. Pluto is changing all of that. And so all these changes we're seeing and we're witnessing and experiencing, they're supposed to be happening because they're all outdated. Literally, it's all outdated, folks. And so in order for us to change, then we have to see the breakdowns happen. We have to see that, okay, this isn't working anymore. We have to do, right? It's the same thing. You're at your job, right? You notice that at the job? You don't get something new. They don't repair something unless the stuff is like totally broken, doesn't work. How many of you are at a job where you're using something and it's got like a Band-Aid on it or a rubber band on it or some crazy glue on it, right? And you keep on using it and it breaks and then you keep on re-gluing it and it's like they're not going to buy a new one until you tell them, okay, I done all I can do and it no longer works. I put a Band-Aid on it 17 times and the thing I was putting a Band-Aid on crumbled. And then it's like, okay, we'll get a new one. This is that. This is Pluto in Capricorn. And remember, this is big business, big government. Any institutions that were built up over a long period of time in our 3D world. And so these are the structures of our world, the structures of our reality, the 3D structures. And what are the 3D structures of our reality? Well, that's everything when you talk about a society. That's rules, regulations, the government, right? Think about that. Banking, like all this big businesses, banking, even churches, right? All those, government, all this stuff, religions. These are things that were in our life that set a sort of structure to our life. They give guidance in our life. It's the rules. You get on the road and it's like, okay, we all have to have, certain rules we have to abide to so that we're all not crashing into each other. Otherwise we have chaos, we have anarchy. Well, these are the structures, the physical structures that were set up. And so we see how that is all being transformed because Pluto is at 22, 23 degrees, right? 22 minutes and 22 degrees, 44 minutes. Wherever Pluto goes, it destroys and then it rebuilds again. But it destroys at the root level, at the foundational level. Okay. So when you see something not working, that is Pluto coming through and clearing the way. Right? Pluto is the phoenix rising. It rises up out of the ashes, okay, because it was burned down to the ground and then it rises again. The moon, what does that have to do with the full moon, right? I just went into all deep about that. Well, because we're realizing there's a lot going on in our life that's changing, it's transforming, and it's like, oh my God, there's nothing we can count on anymore. The things we thought we could count on aren't sustaining us. They're just not there. Well, at this full moon, you see like Pluto's at 22, 23 degrees and Saturn is at 25, 55. Opposite of that, we have Venus, okay? And that's a red line. Okay, and red lines, that's in this chart, that's an opposition. Cancer energy opposes Capricorn energy, okay? And so Venus is this beautiful, divine, feminine energy. It wants to make things beautiful. Venus is your money. It is your resources. Venus rules the sign of Taurus, okay? It also rules the sign of Libra. All right, so it's all about your relationships, what you love, who you love, and your money, your tangible resources. So Venus is opposing Pluto in Capricorn. Venus is opposing Saturn in Capricorn. All right, so funny, well, it's not funny. You think about what's going on right now in the United States government as far as, them coming to a conclusion as to, is there going to be another second round of stimulus checks? And wow, this is interesting. This is your money opposing it in opposition. So it's like, that means it's like a tug of war. There's a big boom of energy down here and a boom of energy down here. But look, it's just little Venus all by herself. And it's the people. The sign of Cancer, this sign right here, on a small scale, this is your emotions, okay? This is your inner emotional world. This is your emotional security. So you see the link up of the polar opposites. Tangible security, emotional security. And on a large scale, this sign represents the public. So you have to connect the dots. You have free will, and I honor free will anytime I'm looking at the energy. So this can come about to mean different things in your life, but this is the public right here, folks, and this is money right here, all right? And they're at an opposition with the government, with big business, with those that are setting the rules. There's a lot of fight mentality that's going on, and that's being, you can see that clearly with the Mars energy. Mars is over here, sending a red line, a red beam with Pluto at 24 degrees and to Saturn at 25 degrees. And they're because the symbols are large, they're spread out. But you can actually see this is Pluto, this little blue line here, and this is Saturn right here. So they just drew one line in the chart so you could see that. But it's Mars, the individuals, because that's what Aries means, our bodies, individuals, taking action because it's a 90-degree angle and it's a square. So in other words, this means there's a big T square between Venus and Mars. All right. Venus and Mars are in opposite. Venus is in opposition with Pluto and Saturn. At the same time, Venus is creating a square, so there's testing and tension with Mars, okay, at the time of the full moon, September 2nd, depending upon where you live in the world. But where I'm at, it's September 2nd. I'm in the United States, and it's, like Central Standard Time. For me, it would be 12:22 a.m. So Venus, stress and tension with Mars in Aries. And these are cardinal signs. This is a cardinal T-square, Arian energy. This is cardinal fire, Cancer energy. This is cardinal water, so cardinal emotions. This is cardinal action. And then this is cardinal Capricorn energy, cardinal earth energy. So it's your tangible 3D world squaring up with your fire and with your action, squaring up with your emotions, with your home, with your family, with the public, with humanity. So this is, you see the T-square. It's this like left triangle type thing you see here, or depending upon what angle you look at it, but you see that, right? So that's a T-square, all right? Which means you have an opposition, and then you have two 90-degree angles, okay? The opposition would be 180 degrees, and half of 180 degrees is 90. And yeah, that's right there, 90 degrees, and then this 90 degrees. Mars throwing a T-square to Pluto and Saturn. Technically to Jupiter as well, but not in my book. That's 27 degrees, so yeah. That is what is going on with the full moon, but that's not all, folks. There's good news. All right, so hold on. You want to hear the good news, okay? The good news is that at this time, remember I mentioned earlier at the end of August, like August 23rd, 24th, 25th, we were going to have Mercury talking to Uranus. Well, at the time of the full moon, look, 10 degrees, 34 minutes. This is the same because Uranus is very slow moving. So we don't have to worry about that moving. but it's the faster planets. Look where the sun is, right? Yeah, you recognize that? The sun is at 10 degrees and 12 minutes in Virgo, creates an earth trine. It does create a grand earth trine, but we'll just focus on the earth trine. That means like energy, trine, okay? Earth, it's Virgo, and earth because it's Taurus. So this is fixed earth, and Virgo is mutable earth, meaning it's flexible, it's changeable. One minute it's doing this, and the other minute it doesn't mind going ahead and doing that. That is flexible, mutable Virgo earth energy. All right. It's always thinking, it's looking at the details, it's forever figuring out different ways to do something. That's the Virgo qualities that I really enjoy. It's like you get stuck in a rut and you're like, damn, I've been trying to do this thing and I can't do it. Go ask a Virgo. Seriously, go ask a Virgo. They're going to be like, they're the one that can think of 3 or 4 different ways to finish a project. You know, they're great troubleshooters. I mean, great troubleshooters. And not only are they troubleshooters, but they can tell you all the steps that it takes to do the project, right? They're great at connecting the dots. They've got all the steps set up. And sometimes we're missing the steps. You know, we see the beginning and then we see the vision, the ending, but we don't know the steps of how to get there. Incorporate a Virgo. They'll help you get there. Matching degrees. That's an exact trine. Woohoo! So actually this will occur 2 days in advance. So this happens, that would mean like September 1st, the very last day of August, because as soon as the sun starts to get close to the 10 degrees, so when the sun's like at 8 degrees, it's going to start receiving emanations from Uranian energy. So that means at the end of August, you're already going to be getting a download of information as well. And it's about work and it's about your money. It's about the things that you value. So this is good because we're already getting so many, like, we're being told no this way, we're being told no this way. It's like a tug of war in a battle. Okay. But hone in on receiving information from the universe. Now, for some people, this may be stronger in their chart, depending upon if they have planets near this point, and depending upon if they have planets near this point. If you do, you're going to get a big beam of, you're going to get a major download. All right. And if you don't know and you want to know, just comment your birth digits below. G will hook you up. That's how I do it here. But look, folks, on the bigger scale, look. The chart didn't connect it, but I do, because this is Pallas Athena, and this is what I love. This is Pallas Athena. We don't normally hear about this in astrology, but Pallas Athena is a female general. She's intelligent. She is strategic, right? She's not talked about a lot, but she's very much is prevalent. Look, she's here at 10 degrees. So she's only 2 degrees away from Uranus at this point. So she will be part of a grand earth trine because this is Capricorn. Capricorn is our tangible earth. It's our cardinal earth. Okay. Cardinal earth is what we take action with in terms of our material world. All right. This is cardinal earth, Capricorn, cardinal earth, Taurus, fixed earth. It's what we can count on. It's not going to change. It's fixed. It's our money, right? Right? Think about that. And then this is Virgo, our mutable earth. This is, that earth, that trine, that combination means that we have the fixedness, we have the endurance to finish a project. We started it, we're going to finish it, right? We have the stubbornness, the stamina. We have the vision on a high expression. Taurian energy has the vision. They can receive those downloads. And then we have the mutable, like I can think of 3 or 4 different ways to do that. And then we've got the cardinal, like I'm doing this with my tangible world, with my long-term vision, because that is what Capricorn energy represents, something you're willing to spend a lot of time on. Okay. And so we're getting downloads of information at the end of August, the beginning of September. I want you to be in a receptive mode, which means maybe go for a walk. Okay. How is it you can get information from the universe? Some people have to sit down and literally meditate. Some people get information when they're standing at the kitchen sink doing dishes. And I mean, that might sound funny, but when your hands are touching water, think about this, folks. Water is a great conductor of energy. I can tell you of some really interesting, fascinating experiences I've had when it came to water. And I'm telling you, man, water is the conductor. It, like, energy just flows right through that. And it enhances the ability for you to receive information more. Yeah, you could take a bath, you could stick your hands in water, but you can also increase the amount of water in your body. This is also important, right? Think about this. this will help. Okay. I know that might be like, gee, this doesn't make any sense. We're talking about Uranus. Just trust me, folks. Okay. Magnetism and energy and the flow of frequencies. This is how it all works. All right. This is how you increase the flow. This is your goal. Increase the flow. You'll get downloads. But some people do it when they're singing, when they're doing like art, or in a creative mode. Maybe you need to just go for a walk. You got to do your own thing. Some people stare in a flame. I enjoy staring into a fire. Honestly, I love that. This can be a powerful time because it's all about learning how to do something different, how to receive differently, how to open up to the receptivity of the universe, how to receive differently. Some people have a hard time receiving. Some people are all about, oh, but I've always made the money. I've always been the one who does this, who does that. And you know what? Many times when the universe tries to give to you, you don't recognize it because you're so used to earning it. You're so used to doing it. And there's this whole thing about new ways of receiving. And so I don't know if anybody here has ever thought of that or if you've gotten information about that, but please feel free to share that below in the comments. Let other people know, give them an example of something that you used to do that you have changed your ways of thinking because you found that when you step back a little bit, you saw that others would step forward. And in essence, it helped you to learn how to receive. Some people have a hard time receiving. They're uncomfortable with it. But learning how to receive, and this grand earth trine will help us to learn how to receive new work. Remember, this is about work. Virgo is about our tangible daily routines, right? Our health habits. And so is Capricorn, definitely about our career, our highest hopes, goals, and ambitions. That is where we express our best, that Capricorn energy. Definitely take a look in your chart, folks. Find out what 3 houses your earth energy is in. I know a lot of people are going to comment and be like, but gee, like my Taurus is in 2 different houses. And this is a good example right here, right? We see Taurus energy a little bit in the 12th and we see Taurus energy a little bit in the 11th. So yes, that is very common. Okay. Same here, right? Capricorns in 2 houses. That is common. It just means you have a more complex set of energies to deal with, right? It means you're a little bit more of a complex human being. It also actually gives you a wider range of opportunities. It means that instead of having 5 or 6 things on your plate of the way your energy can express, it doubles. Literally, it doubles because it takes on the essence of this house and it takes on the essence of this house. Make sense? So it's all going to be about, when a planet moves through a house and when it gets there, right? Like Uranus, you see here it's in the 11th house in Taurus. But in a couple of years, this is going to move over to here. And it'll be in this 12th house, but it'll still be in Taurus. So it'll take on a different ability, a different way of expressing, but it was still Uranus and Taurus. Yes, this is complex. I know. I'm sorry. I don't mean for it to get too muddied. But now that we've talked about some of the T-squares and the harsh energies, and then we talked some about the beneficial energies. Yes, you do see more blue. We also have Venus days before the full moon. We see Venus would have been exactly trining Neptune energy, which is beautiful. It's angel wings coming in. Venus is all about how I take care of myself in my emotional world so that I can be more present and able to establish and to go after my material 3D tangible world, which sets up my material security. Venus is all about love. How do I take care of myself, right? And when we take care of ourselves, it's only after we make sure we're taking care of our inner emotional world and we're satisfying what we need, then we can then help those in the greater world. And that is the public. And that is the sign of Cancer on a large scale, the public. Remember, small scale, it's me, my inner world. Large scale, outer world, right? Macro, the public, the outer world goes beyond my family because this is a sign of family. It's also the sign of mom, people. A lot of folks are going to be hearing a lot of information about their mother, right? And whether it's typically it would be good information because it's Venus and Venus normally brings gifts, but definitely when Venus trines Neptune, this is a big deal. This is like September. This is like right now, actually. I know this chart doesn't show that, but this is Venus already trining Neptune energy. And so good news coming in about mom, like there's a relief, like mom, got some help she needed or got some sort of assistance, or you got good news about mom, maybe she went to a doctor's appointment, you got good news back. But this is Venus bringing, good news for family as well, not just mom, but family, right? Sign of Cancer, my family. So this could be people that you consider family. They don't have to be blood family, okay? But divine feminine energies, all right? Divine feminine energy, trining Neptune energy. Neptune is yeah, it's the God particle. It's angel wings coming in and giving support on a very high level. It's we are all one. What we got to do for all of us. And see the beautiful thing, the other blue line, Neptune is Jupiter. Neptune is sending another blue line to Pluto as well. So there's this aspect, anytime you see Neptune involved, it's all about understanding this is your sign of faith. Have faith. There's that element in our life of something that we don't see, but we know it exists, right? It's the good that's at the back of all things, just waiting to be revealed. Like that's Neptune. We can't hold it in our hand. We can't. It's ethereal. We can't touch it. We can't see it, right? It's this non-tangible. It's this Piscean thing. It's like it's just behind closed doors, right? Yes, on a negative, low expressing way, that could be, backdoor things, people doing things behind closed doors that aren't so positive, but it's a blue line, which means it's good, right? Which means Neptune is working with Pluto right now. So there's good coming because this is a sextile, which means it adds ease. And then this is a trine because it's 120 degrees away. See the matching blue? Matching blue. It's trine energy, okay? Which means it's definitely going to add major ease to your life, and you don't have to do a whole lot to get it. It's assistance coming in. So when we get to the full moon, you see Venus bringing abundance, right? And talking to Mercury, right? And this is, again, the routines and health habits and job habits and projects. Yeah, Virgo's all about projects. This is also gardening, folks. Virgos love to use their hands and garden. Anything hands and crafty, that's a Virgo type thing. That great architecture. He was so wonderful. I can't think of it right now, but he had a lot of strong Virgo qualities because his architecture, his homes were all built with the ideas of things being very practical, like you could use them, right? It wasn't a waste of something where you saw something beautiful, but it should also have a purpose behind it and a useful purpose. It has to be something that is functional architecture. Oh, God, his name just went through my head again. Anyway, if you know who that is that I'm talking about, comment it below for me. It's going to drive me crazy. Oh man, it keeps coming and going. It's like super elusive. But anyway, he was a Virgo. He had tons of great Virgo things in his chart. I looked him up because I thought, oh my God, look at this, right? Frank Lloyd. Frank Lloyd, is that who that was? Yeah, Lloyd, right? Anyway, the name's coming and going, but it's eluding me, and that's okay. Just write it down below. Anyway, that was Virgo. It had to be functional, and that's Virgo, all about things being practical and functional because it's all about the hands. Why is it all about the hands? Because Mercury rules Virgo, and Mercury energy is all about using the fingers, but also information and knowledge. So it connects the hands to the head. It's that, okay, I see this, I know it's a good idea, but can I use it? Can I do something with it? Can I hold it? Can I flip a button? Can I push a button? Can I use it to help me to further this project? That's all the Virgo qualities. And so it's projects at work. So this is beautiful. I'm loving this because look what Mercury's doing. It's sending beams, helpful beams to Jupiter and to Pluto and to Saturn. So we get information, something that's coming that's going to help us, and it's going to add ease to the way we think. It's going to bring relief to our thoughts. And this is wonderful. So even though we have like this unbelievable, powerful, red, horrible looking T-square, okay, and it's all about our emotions, at the same time, don't forget, we also have something here. And yes, it's Mercury, so that means it is short. It's a quick burst of information. It goes fast. I'm not going to lie. Mercury moves fast. I already told you. And so we have this nice, beautiful support and trine, which adds ease coming from the government. So we're getting information at this time about something that's going to add ease to our daily routines. This is just the beginning of September. Okay, so this was the video to cover the end of August and the beginning of September, but I'm going to tell you right here and right now, Okay, I want everybody listening to have a heads up. I want you to share this video with as many people as you can, not because I want you to, and even if you don't share the video, then fine, don't. Then share the information. Do whatever you got to do. But understand that I've looked at the astrology and I'll keep doing more videos, but I want you to have this heads up now. We're in August. I want you to have the heads up. Come September, okay, as the month of September goes, all right, things are going to get more heated. When October hits, from here on out, folks, we have a wave of building energy. And it's not just about government. It's not just about, at my job. It's not just about, we have earth energies at play. The earth herself is going through a deep transformation. The earth herself is trying to, I know this might sound crazy, okay? And that's okay. But the earth herself is also going through a process of elevation. We're going together, because we live on the earth, we are going through a quantum elevation, not just her, but us. So she does need our support. She needs us to hone in on her. Folks, if you're out there, I want you to honestly take a moment to not only talk to your heart, but talk to the soul of the earth. Talk to the heart of your Mother Earth, who feeds you and asks for nothing in return. That means you're talking, yes, all the animals that live on the earth, in any way you think that sounds reasonable, because everybody's going to have a different vision of what that is. There is no right or wrong way. And this is going to be important because, folks, coming in September and October and November, we have the planet Uranus doing some interesting things when it comes to the earth. All right, there's going to be some disruptive energies. We're going to see some things happen with the earth. Now, this can look in a lot of different ways, okay? It's not just Uranus, it's also, it's also Mars, who gets to like 28 degrees. Like September 9th, Mars is going to stand still, folks, and things are going to get really hot when Mars stands still, okay? Mars starts heating up the end of August and the beginning of September because it's slowing down. Okay. But when Mars stands still, it's then going to go retrograde. And anytime a planet goes backwards and retrogrades, we feel its energy more intensely. Now, we're already having fires in California right now. Well, here's the deal. When Mars goes retrograde September 9th, it stands still, right? Or September 8th, and then it begins its retrograde. So we're going to feel the fire of Mars even stronger then. Yes, we're going to feel the fire of Mars even stronger. Things may literally heat up. Right now, I know where I'm at, we're experiencing this beautiful, cool weather. I mean, it's been lovely. We've been out without air conditioning. And so far, August has been the best August I've ever lived in my life without air conditioning. It's absolutely lovely. Expect things to get hot. So that could be temperatures heating up. That could also be, we'll see. I don't like to put negative things. I don't like to put thoughts out there, but there will be transformational changes within the earth herself. And this will be physical material changes. So that could be temperature changes with earth waters. That could be temperature changes in the planet. You can use your own imagination for where you live, what sort of activity happens in that part of the earth that you live on. Be aware the earth is going through changes. This isn't to say, oh my God, devastation and horrible, horrible things, but Uranus is the planet of unpredictable events. Okay. And so just knowing that in advance will help you to prepare, right? To have a frame of mind where, okay, yes, this is 2020 and we're preparing that things could happen. But at the same time, we know that we have divine frequencies that are here. The test is that when things happen, can you gather together? Can you gather together? Can humanity find their commonality and join hands and move forward? That is when those kinds of things occur. That's the bigger message. These things are supposed to happen. Otherwise, humanity forgets their connectivity. They forget, right? They get involved in their lives and they forget about, they just start focusing on, well, this is what I like and they don't like what I like, and I like this and they don't like this. We become so divided, and we need to remember our unity. Right? It's all about the unity in the community. Once we can create community here on this earth, we can graduate, right? But until we learn how to do that, and that involves the planet Earth, right? Which means that we recognize what we do to ourselves, we're doing to her. And what we do to her, we're doing to ourselves. This is an old indigenous people's teaching. They know this. The reason they know this is because they live so close to the earth. They immediately see the direct correlation. They see it in their lives way faster than people who live more distant from the earth. And I say distant from the earth where, we don't spend time with the earth, right? We don't live off the land. We don't cultivate the land. We don't nurture the land. We don't farm the land, right? But people who do all that kind of work, they see the difference immediately. They see the changes and they see the consequences. And so we've forgotten that it's not wrong, regardless of what your religion is. It's not wrong to call the earth your mother. That's not wrong. Does she not feed you? Does she not feed the animals? Right? Yes, there's a greater being that created the earth, but this is recognizing that she's part of that, right? The deity, divine, the source, right? God, mother, whatever, universe, creator, whatever you call that for you, whatever religion you're involved in or not, there is that point of beginning that we know, right? It's like the unmoved mover. But what do you think created the earth, right? What do you think set all this unbelievable beauty up so that there's just a way where we're all somehow taken care of? Everything that was created is divine. I know this is hard to swallow, especially when you see beings or things doing things that aren't so kind. But don't forget free will. Every being and thing you see is a degree of deity.